Okay guys, welcome to a new video. This is part 6. Yeah. Part 6. Yeah. Part 6. Yeah, it's part 6. Anyways, we're gonna start with something crazy. You see these guys? Very low, a low population for their size. But do you know what they really like? They really like horses. So much that the entire army has horses. Oh, wait. Oh, God. Wait, how? How are they doing this? They're going so fast. Dude, how is this possible? Whoa. Dude, they did this in whoa, dude. That's crazy. Dude. Yes, they would make large pushes into this empire using their horses and advance using horses and I don't know, they're just how they would be like, oh, this is just a hiccup. And it was. But they would face a bunch of struggle against their horses. Because horses are kind of difficult. But they would be able to push back significantly until their horsemen would make a breakthrough. And yeah, they would offer a peace treaty and they say, how much land? And this is crazy. They make peace treaty, blah 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 blah. Yes, so peace treaty will be like these will will be like around these territories, and it's like a purchase, but after a peace treaty. Yeah, so they get these territories, and they do have to pay these guys money for it. But this territory isn't really that valuable, so yeah. Time to color these in, and I will not cut this. You have to watch. I'm making you watch. Complete silence. Alright, so yeah, that's interesting how these guys got land and didn't just get destroyed. Oh well. Who really cares? Anyways. These guys were beginning to expand south to cut off their rival from expanding. Yeah. Also just to find resources, make new housing and stuff. But they would be very effective at expanding into these mountains. So much that they would eventually reach the coast. Yeah, that's actually crazy that they did that. The green team would be like, bro, you can't just do that, even though they just did. So they would do their own expansion just like that. And would just annex these territories. And they would annex these territories. And it'd be like, yeah, another war is going to break out. We all know it. We all know. But when? Nobody knows when another war is going to break out, but we all know one is going to break out. But the green team would continue their expansion as they would just begin to focus on the coast to rival the expansion of their rival. Yeah. Mainly focusing along the coast because that's the most valuable territory. Because, yeah, coastal territory is more valuable. So, yeah, they do that. Did I say something? No, I didn't say anything. I did that in 5 seconds. Yay, I made India and Pakistan in 5 seconds. Yeah. So anyways, these guys fell off. Like, really, they really fell off. They used to be the most powerful, but now they're stuck to Anatolia and this piece of land in Europe. Anyways, let's talk about these two new nations that aren't totally going to go to war. Because they're not going to go to war. Just kidding. It's between these two. The green team would launch an invasion into them as they would quickly meet up with mountains. As their forces would begin to prepare for naval invasions as mountains are kind of hard to get past. So they would launch invasions from Corsica and here, capturing these islands, using them as points to invade here, and they would use this new beachhead to take their capital city. But it's not over yet because the green team seeks full annexation. So they would begin to just push into the nation as they would make breakthrough through the mountains as chaos and confusion in their forces would make it much easier. But only along the coast. This area is still too strong. The forces along the coast would connect up with the landing forces, connecting them up with supply via the land. As these now much more stronger forces would begin to make a push towards their second largest city, capturing it. As eventually, Brown Team would launch their invasion to reconquer the country as it would go very successful with it already collapsing. And eventually it would capitulate. So yeah. The green team would say, "Get out of this land now. We won't give you anything." Brown team says, "Yes, you will. Do you want to test it? Test us?" No. So they just give in. Oh yeah, sorry Brown team. Okay guys. Yeah. Sad story. Brown team doesn't even get anything. But you already knew that. And I just told you again. But also sad story. There's a revolution. And it's like becoming really big. Like really quickly because this area doesn't really like the it's different from that area is different from the rest of the empire because it's influenced by dark blue culture, like a lot. That includes this and some culture from here, culture from these two. Yeah, they just declare independence and yeah, the green team goes like, we just have territorial expansion here, and this is like much more valuable than this. So yeah, let's just make a peace treaty with them. So they do. So this new country just gains these territories, and these two just be chill. And the capital city will be not here, because that's not even in that territory, silly. Oh, come on, bro, I forgot the provinces. Well, I'll do that later. It's gonna be here. So, yeah. New nation. Actually, yeah. New nation. After a death of a nation, a new nation appears. And yeah, the Queen Team's like, we need to recover some land even though we just expanded into Iberia. So let's go to the British Isles. And so they do. But it wouldn't be called the British Isles. They would mainly focus in the south and along the coast. Like using it as like a bunch of fishing. Making a bunch of port and fishing stuff. And they would even cross into Ireland, even discovering the Isle of Man and multiple territories along the coast. So yeah, they do that. And yeah, across the years they would fully just begin to centralize their control over it. Just like taking control of the island. Until eventually they just take over the entire island. But in that time span of like a long time, these people are beginning to build their own culture different from the mainland. Also because they're not a part of the mainland. And there's this thing called the English Channel, which again wouldn't be called the English Channel, but we're just gonna say it is called the English Channel because I'm lazy. Anyways, the government wouldn't really notice this, even though they lost this because of that same thing. But they would just continue their expansion. Yes, this government is very imperialist, but way too strong. Oh, can't forget this. Oh. Yeah. That's interesting. New nation? Where? Where? Down here? Oh my god. So, it's building a new empire based off of trade, but there's not really much out here yet, but it will soon. It will soon. But it does build just a bunch of, like, colonies everywhere. Focusing along the coast, never going too inland. If you go to inland, well, don't. Just don't. This is a seafaring people. Ooh. That's interesting. They connect up with the brown team via the water. Anyways. Soon these guys will be able to connect, and really cool stuff will happen when that happens. But that is not going to happen this episode because it's ending. now. Anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.